In this video, I'm going to show you how to go from this to this. So we're about to fly overseas in a couple of days. So I'm in the middle of packing up our bikes right now, so I thought I'd give you guys a tutorial. First things first, take your time to go through the terms and conditions of the airline and the travel insurance. Before you start, you'll need a bike box. You should be able to get one of these from your local bike shop for free. When you're at the bike shop, see if you can get some foam tubes, a brake choke, and some spare Velcro straps. The tools you'll need are a set of Allen keys, a torque set, and a pedal spanner. Chances are, when you get your bike box from the shop, it'll be open and flat. So when you get it home, you'll have to reinforce it at the bottom. I'll just use packing tape. If you're unsure about what size box you'll need, you can just do a quick measurement from the back of the rear wheel to your dropout. To start, I'm going to take the accessories off. So for my bike, I'm going to take the basket, the front rack, and the bottle cages off. Depending on the size of the box, you may be able to leave your rear rack on. I have an empty shoebox and some sandwich bags where I'm going to write the loose nuts and bolts and put it in the shoebox so that I don't lose them. In this sandwich bag, I wrote front basket, nuts and bolts, in there. When I remove my accessories that are mounted onto the frame, I like to leave the mounting hardware back on the bike just so that I don't lose them, like all with the washers and everything. This is also a pretty good opportunity for you to put some grease on the thread. Next, we're going to take off our pedals. And before we do that, I have a hot tip for you guys. Currently, you guys can see that my chain is on the hardest gear. So we want to shift it to the biggest gear here, so the easiest gear. And that'll make our derailleur stick out less. You can put the pedals in the shoebox. Now we're going to move on to the front wheel area. I like to start by removing the front brake caliper where it mounts to the forks. That way when you reinstall it, you don't have to realign the brakes. The reason why I take the front brake caliper off is because I think it's a bit safer in case the box folds sideways and something smacks on the brake caliper. Once you undo the bolts, you can grab your brake choke and just insert it between the brake pads. If you can't find a plastic brake choke, you can also just fold a bit of paper or use a bit of cardboard, wedge it between the brake pads. If you're taking nail clippers on your trip, you can use it to snip away at these cable ties. What I do with this is I just roll it up into a coil, strap it to the handlebar. Now we're going to take the front wheel off. Once the front wheel is off, I like to grab the axle and put it back through the fork dropouts, just to give it some rigidity during transit. Just to be extra safe and not risk bending my rotor in transit, I like to take my front rotor off. I'm going to put these foam tubes on the bike frame. I like to also cover the bottom of my forks with some foam like this. What we're going to do now is slide the left crank through the wheel. Now you can grab your straps and strap the wheel to the bike frame. If you don't have these, you can also use cable ties. Now we're going to remove the handlebar and strap it to the right hand side of the bike. Just to minimize any protrusions, I like to flip the stem this way, so backwards. And in order to do that, you just gotta loosen up the top cap bolt and then two little stem bolts here. Once you flip the stem around, just make sure to retighten all the bolts you just undid, just to make sure it doesn't flop around. Depending on how tall your box is or how short your saddle can drop, if you can't fully close your box with the saddle still on the bike, you might have to take the saddle off. You're probably wondering why my front rotor is still on the bike. The bolts are really tight and I can't undo them, so I'm just going to risk it. Last thing we need to do is just deflate the tyres now. Dropping it down to 10 or so PSI is fine. Bike's now ready to go in the box. So if you have a shoebox with all your bits and bobs, you can just drop that in the front. That'll help the bike not move forward and back. And then with all the remaining space, you could fit your bike bags in. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Have a safe flight. Catch you on the next one.